Welcome to Perspectives. I'm Terry Bowers sitting in for Sam Jones today. Our first guests are Alice Blue with the Jewish Federation of Tulsa and Kelly Bayles with the Tulsa City County Library. The library has been selected to host Americans and the Holocaust, a traveling exhibition from the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let's just start with how Tulsa became involved, because you're one of just a few, or 50, that were selected to have this exhibition. How did that happen?
Yeah, so Tulsa City County Library was part of a competitive application process to receive this exhibit through a partnership with American Library Association and the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum. So we are one of 50 libraries from nationwide selected to host this exhibition from 2024 to 2026, and we're really honored to be one of the libraries selected.
And so tell me about what that was like for your organization to find out that we were going to be able to host it.
Well, we have been working with the library probably for the last 25 years. The library has been instrumental in terms of helping us with publicity. And we were asked to write a letter of recommendation for this exhibit. So when they got it, we got it. So it was a joint celebration.
So we've got it. What is it all about? Tell us how it addresses history regarding Americans and what happened during World War II.
Yes, absolutely. So this exhibit is based on a permanent exhibition that is at the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum in Washington, D.C. And it really examines the motives, pressures, and fears that shaped how Americans responded to Nazism, war, and genocide in Europe during the 30s and 40s. Really provides a window onto the time period and what sources of information and factors influenced American responses.
Alice, why is it important to look at the response from the 30s and 40s still today?
Because I think we constantly need to repeat the same lessons over and over. It is very easy for us to see that something is going on and not address it, or to basically say, oh, it's so sad that that's happening. But it takes a society to stand up and do more so that we make sure that things don't repeat. That's why this is our 28th year of doing our Yom HaShoah commemoration.
Things are a lot different now than they were in the 1930s and 40s. Mm-hmm. It took a lot more time for information to travel. Now everyone has a way to document something on a phone in their pocket. But is it really that different? I'll let you answer.
I think that, that's a positive and a negative. We have so much information coming at us that it's hard sometimes to figure out exactly what we should be doing about it, what we're hearing, what it means, how do we deal with it as individuals. So it is, yes, we are much more informed, and that can be a good thing.
But then what? And so that's where libraries and special exhibits come in. So tell us what people will experience when they come to visit.
Yeah, so the exhibit will be at Central Library in downtown Tulsa, April 14th through May 20th. It'll be on the first floor, so one of the first things you see as you come in. So there'll be information with panels, which I think you're seeing played back there. There's also interactive pieces, so you'll see newsreel footage, you'll see contemporary newspaper reporting about the Holocaust as it unfolded in real time. You'll see timelines and public opinion polls that were taken by Americans, showing what people knew at the time, and then how they reacted and responded to information that they had access to.
So this is more than a history lesson. It's really delving into how we absorb information and then react to it. What do you think people will be most surprised by when they come to visit?
I have found in speaking as a child of survivors that people want to hear, they want to see what other people saw, and they want to hear actual stories about what happened. So there's a real hunger for us to, I think, delve into history, and it's relatively recent history, to see what we are like and what we were like.
You somewhat led me into my next question. You said you're a child of a survivor?
Of two survivors.
Tell me about that.
I feel an obligation to carry on my parents' stories. It's ironic because my mother would not be able to talk about it. And I think what that did to my sister and myself is it gave us the obligation to tell her story because she wasn't able to, and to tell my father's story. So I think that knowing that there's something alive still that touches the Holocaust is really very important, especially now that so many survivors have passed and are passing.
Right, we're losing the firsthand telling of the story, and so we're having the retelling,
Right.
which that's just one example of how that happens historically. And so for a library to be able to do this, you're not just documenting from one generation to the next, you're documenting forward and forward and forward.
Yes, absolutely.
So what age do you think will be most impacted?
Right. So we do have opportunities for schools to schedule field trips to visit the exhibition, as well as just outside community groups and just library visitors. It is recommended for middle schoolers, middle school, high school students and up for the content. So we are really looking forward to being able to share this material with students and share the exhibition with them.
And are there opportunities to discuss on site if they find material unsettling or want to learn more? Are there opportunities to have that discussion?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where we have a wealth of library resources that if people want to learn more or investigate deeper into this history, we can connect them with that.
And it is upsetting for people to see it. So I asked you this to a degree, but I'll ask it a little more directly. Why is looking at actual history so important, even if it isn't pleasant?
It's the unpleasant history that we learn the most from. We have an obligation as citizens to really be responsible for the things that we do as a nation, for the postures that we take as leaders, that we owe something to each other. And that's a lesson that is ancient, and it's a lesson for today.
And it isn't always global. It can be just neighbor to neighbor.
Right.
To be kind to one another. Do you believe people will come away from this exhibition with a different perspective if perhaps they walked in unsure?
Yeah, and I think the exhibition covers themes that are evergreen in our history, and the exhibition is really not designed to provide answers, but to provoke questions and critical thinking among our visitors. So we want people to think about how would they react, and how would they respond, and what would they do, and what lessons might they carry forward from this history.
And I'm sure you've worked without educational efforts throughout what the library's done and your partnership. What do you think people will come away with most?
I think they'll come away with questions. And I think that's so healthy and so good. And I admire the library for being able to put this on, and for the museum to be able to share their treasure trove of information.
Absolutely. Well, thank you both for coming in. And again, exhibition is a difficult word. The exhibit opens when?
April 14th, and that is also the same night as the Yom HaShoah Interfaith Holocaust Commemoration.
And that will be at 7 o'clock on April 14th, tomorrow, at Congregation B'nai Emunah at 17th and South Peoria, 7 p.m. The speaker will be the same historian that helped Ken Burns put together America and the Holocaust. So we're really looking forward.
Wonderful. Thank you both for being here, and best of luck with having a great turnout for the event and the entire exhibition.
Thank you,
Thank
Terry.
you.
And we will be back with more right after this.
My guest is the Circle Cinema co-founder, and I want to stress co-founder, Clark Wiens. Clark, it's good to have you with us.
Our pleasure to be here.
I've been excited about this ever since I found that we had the opportunity to do it. And I want to explain to the folks at home my feeling toward this theater. Because in all honesty, if they can accept the concept of automobiles made into a full-length feature animated film called Cars, then they should be able to accept buildings with personalities as well. I really believe that this building, this theater, could be the basis of another full animated feature, given all that it's gone through. When was it built?
1928. Chilton was the architect and had his name on the building. It actually opened for business on July 15th of 1928.
And as I understand it,
yes,
correct me if I'm wrong,
sure,
it was almost overbuilt because of the steel girders that would accommodate how many?
Actually, they anticipate another 3 floors on it. And as you know now, over the theater is currently an apartment structure, which we're eliminating as we make it into a larger theater. And in fact, in that apartment at one time, the lady who was in Bernadette, Song of Bernadette, she lived there and won an Oscar.
Jennifer Jones.
Exactly. Lived there because her father was the projectionist in the movie theater.
Really?
Absolutely.
Well, you know, the school, what is it, off of Utica, that has the statue of
Yeah,
her.
of course. And the statue, the whole scene there, right? Montecasino.
Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful concept.
It is a concept.
Give me a little bit about the history of this theater. I mean, it was a player among the big theaters in Tulsa.
Right. Well, you know, it was the first suburban theater, even though now it wouldn't be in the suburbs, but it was then because most of your theaters were concentrated downtown per se, the Bostons and that stuff. Then they started migrating out on 11th and 15th, and then subsequently it came to Lewis, and Chilton, for then it was called the first suburban movie theater in Tulsa. And it did quite well. I mean, it really did flourish. And then, of course, it had one marquee, which was considerably smaller than the one we have now. Post-World War II, they put up the current marquee. We have the 1947. And that's the one we're operating with. And then it went through good times, and good times included the Bond movies and several other things. At dark, we had several, I'm trying to think of the film there, but there were several films of notoriety that showed there.
What's the future of the theater? And I don't want to go all the way into that because again we have video. Here we go.
Okay. Well, this the condition we found. In fact, it was somewhat improved. And this shows that we're cleaning it up. And here's the mayor. We opened our first screen with about 120 seats in it there. And these are some of the.
That's the
films.
Apartment setup that you.
That's apartment setup.
Earlier.
Now that'll maintain in the front, but we'll be changing the back of it. And we've had many, many guest stars. Tim Blake Nelson's on our board. We've had a multitude of directors. This shows it what it looks like today. This is our gallery, kind of. We have a picture gallery plus a lobby. And this is where people, we hope, after films would come out and discuss. And believe it, they do. You'll find them sitting there for hours. And that's the prerogative that we have by having a lobby in which we don't care whether you stay around forever as compared to maybe a multiplex that wants you to have your popcorn, see your movie, and go home. We're not, that isn't our concern.
So
we'd like
really
people to talk about it.
Let them languish and enjoy
Absolutely.
and absorb.
And absorb and be a point of discussion.
Was your father as much into films as you are?
Well, I'll tell you, we kind of got into, I have identical twin brothers, so we both kind of got bit by this. I was born during World War II, and I would ask my father, what'd you do during World War II? My father was too young for World War I and too old for World War II. But what he did during World War II, for 4 years, we lived in California, he would go up down the San Joaquin Valley and show films about the war effort. And he would get farmers so motivated, they would go out at night and take flashlights and start plowing, because he would convince them, he was paid with Mobile Oil to do this, that it was so powerful that if we raised more crops, we'd beat either the Germans, the Japs, or the Italians, whatever the case might have been. And he had some great films, of which I still have some, but most of them were about fighting people. The war itself, either the German side or the Italian. Of course, the German side didn't come until later for the Americans, so most of it was Japanese-oriented, post-Pearl Harbor. And he had these films, and he just said, the power of film. He said, I would just, he was a good public speaker, better than myself, much better.
You're doing fine.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm not worried about it. But he would show these films, and these people become so motivated, they would go out at night and get flashlights and start plowing, because that was their what they could do to help win this war. And he would just convince us from a long, long time ago, he said, the power of film. In fact, a series that you showed here on your channel and still show, the Victory at Sea, was really my first experience with film in World War II. And my brother and I were just totally fascinated by that series, and no more than I am now. It's a unique series in which you don't hear sounds, you only hear narration.
Exactly.
And it's really kind of different in that respect. You don't have that in this day and age because our recording devices allow us to have the actual sound more so a battle than we could do back in that time.
You know, I remember there's a story that goes, one of my passions is radio. And we don't have, oh boy, I'm going to open a can of worms.
Yeah.
We don't have radio anymore. What I envision radio should be. And I'll give you an example. Back when Ed Murrow was with the network, and he was stationed in London.
Absolutely.
And the most classic example of, to me, real communication, it was during the Blitz in London. And as the story was later told by Eric Severide from CBS, Murrow walked out, and what the folks in New York heard, and the rest of the country, was, "Good evening, this is Ed Murrow, and this is London." And he laid the microphone on the sidewalk and walked away.
And you could hear the bomb.
I'm getting chills thinking about it because the bombs were coming in so fast and the missiles across the channel were exploding all around. And he stood back from the microphone and waited for 15 minutes while the people at home had an idea of what was taking place in and around London.
That's radio documentation,
The power. And what you're telling me makes perfect sense. The power of film, the power of good video that tells a story. Because in my passion, the guys and gals who were really good at their craft could turn that car speaker or that speaker at home into a picture.
Absolutely.
If they knew what they were doing.
Absolutely.
And
I understand that.
Folks that produce film, if they do it right, they touch something inside.
Absolutely.
You know?
There's always hope when the lights go out.
We're back, and so are Kelly and Bailey James to talk about the Friends of the Helmerich Library Book Sale. And you all have been so kind to come visit with us before. How many years has this sale been going on? I'll start with you.
Well, let's see. We started in 2004. But it's the Friends of the Helmerich Library's 25th anniversary this year, actually.
So you've been with the sale almost as long as the library.
Yes, because the library celebrates its 35th anniversary this year.
Goodness.
And I've actually been going, I turned 35 this year, so I went right after I was born to the brand new Helmerich Library. So
it makes it easy for you to remember.
Yes, it does, exactly.
Well, tell us about this sale, because it has really become an event.
It has. It's grown every year. We have gotten more donations this year than we have in the past. We've gotten large donations from estate sales, from people's parents dying, since Holland Hall isn't doing their book sale anymore. We just have an abundance of things this year, more than we've ever had.
And we do now actually pick up estate sale donations if we're contacted, or large donations that anybody wants to give us will actually come to you.
Oh, that's
yeah,
service too. So it's called a book sale, but it is much more than books. What can people find if they come to the book sale?
Yeah, so it is not just books. We have DVDs, CDs, puzzles, games, pretty much anything that people donate that we're able to sell, we do sell.
And we actually have this year, we have some reel-to-reels of music that someone donated last year. And so
even sort of rare media items.
Rare media
if they're in good
items,
condition, we'll put them out.
Well, you kind of hinted at why people may want them. If they're rare, they could be collector's items. So what do people do when they come to the sale and buy these volumes of older books or media? We've become such a digital world. What are they looking for when they come to visit?
Well, you see a real range of purpose. I mean, obviously people buy books to read, but we've also seen a real resurgence of people drawn to physical media like CDs and DVDs, people who want to spend less time on their phones or on streaming devices, people who recognize that if a movie's not on streaming, you just can't watch it. So they'll want to own a beloved movie on DVD. And we also see people use things for unusual projects, like craft projects or interior design projects or decorating. We'll use books and things for that.
Well, that's what we were talking about when we were getting you mic'd up. I remembered from your interview with Sam last year, you told a story about someone who was buying books for a specific project.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So this lady, she came to our bag sale, and I want to let everyone know that we're actually going to have 2 bag sales this year because we have so many books. The first Saturday, we will have a bag sale for $10 a bag. We will give you a research bag, and you can get as much as you can in it for only $10. And then the second Saturday, we'll have another bag sale for $5. And so we had a lady come 2 or 3 years ago, and she was purchasing all kinds of books. She must have bought 10 to 12 bags of books, and she was going to make a fake fireplace out of books that she had seen at Philbrook, and she thought it was lovely, and so she was going to make one of these at home for her kids.
Well, did she ever send you a picture? Did she send you the
No,
follow-up?
I wish she had. She did not.
We'll have to keep an eye
So
out
we'll
for
have
her.
to
Okay.
keep an eye out for her.
If she sees this interview, I am asking right now.
Yeah.
We want to see.
See
wanna
the
see.
picture.
We want a picture. Send that to us and let us see what you did. And if somebody comes to the book sale this year and does something really unique and creative, send us the
We'd love
picture.
to
We'd love to
see
see
it.
it.
And it's
Yeah.
not just books. We have a man who comes by a lot that uses albums to create coasters and things. It's a little bit of everything. So, yeah, we're excited to be doing the bag sale twice this year. We got so much material. We'll also be putting a lot of new stuff out just for the second weekend because we don't have room in the space for all of the materials that we have at once.
Yeah,
So
that's true. So
we recommend people
have
come
both
both weekends.
weekends.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
looking at some video now just to help illustrate how expansive this is. So how much time do you think people should allow to come and shop?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, as you can see here, sometimes it gets a little crowded. I would leave at least 30 minutes because we have so much to look at, and we also sort it very carefully. All the nonfiction is sorted. It's not just sorted by nonfiction. There's a specific section for sports, for trains, for animals, for history, for biography. So we recommend
Cookbooks, crafts.
So
What do you think is the most in-demand item? What goes first?
Well, I would say we sell a lot of history, politics, biographies, that sort of thing.
Children's books.
Children's books.
we have a new section this year, actually.
We have a new section. We have an expanded area that we're going to be using this year, so that's
all for children's
wonderful.
materials.
All for children's
so
materials.
Lots of room
so
for them to shop.
That's correct.
I'm just
So
thinking about when you see people lining up for, you know, how Black Friday sales used to be. Everybody's waiting to get
yes.
in. What goes first? And so if you want those in-demand items, you should get there early, right?
Yes,
That's correct.
Both weekends, because there'll be new
yeah,
stuff.
because like, you know, if you have a small child and a child wants to own a lot of books, you know, books are very expensive. You know, I mean, and it's great to use the library, but kids also like to own their own books, as adults do. Because, you know,
Absolutely.
brand new books are like $32 a piece.
And we just showed the information, but tell us again the dates of the event.
So we will have preview day this year instead of just preview night, and it's going to be from 12 to 4. We'll have a time slot, and you will pay $20 for the privilege of shopping from 12 to 4, and then we'll have another time slot from 5 to 8 for preview evening for $5. And then the sale is the 17th and 18th, and the 24th and the 25th.
All right. Friends of the Helmerich Library Annual Book Sale. And I really mean it. If somebody does something really neat, I would love to see the follow-up.
Yes, that's, we'll have to keep that in mind. Maybe the lady with the fireplace
We'll come back.
Calling on her now.
back.
Yeah.
Thank you both for being here again, and wish you great success with the sale.
Thank
Thanks,
you so
Terry.
much, and thanks for having us. Come to the sale. Come see us, maybe.
Absolutely.
All right.
See what kind of craft I can do. Well, that's our time for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.